Let's take a look at adding controls to a particular form we're working with. And I got my toolbox showing here. If yours isn't showing, do a view, and then you'll see a lot of different windows here. You want to choose the one that says toolbox. And it's nice to, if you have it auto hid, if you click it and go ahead and pin it, it'll stay there. Okay. Now we're not going to go over how to program these. We're not going to really go over what they mean. We're just talking about how to add them to the form. Here's a button. One way to add it to the form is to double click, and it'll add it to the form. Put it on the upper left hand corner here. Double click again, it adds another button. Now after you got these on your form, then you can put your mouse over them and it becomes the four little arrows, and you can then click and hold down the left mouse button and move it to wherever you want. This one here, if I click and hold down my left mouse button, I can move it to wherever I want. And let me add in some more buttons. Okay, so I got different buttons here. Let's say I want to line them up. Well, if I grab one of the buttons and start moving it around, you see these little lines appear. Those will allow you to line them up perfectly. I come down here and I can line them up. There's lots of different tools available to line items up, such that if I have all of them selected, then I can use these tools here. How did I select all of them? I clicked in the gray space here with my left mouse button, held it down, and then dragged, and it'll select all of those then when I lit up on the mouse. So again, what I did, left mouse button, I clicked and held down and then dragged my mouse, and that's how you select them. And then you see here align lefts. Well, they're already aligned left. Align centers. Align rights. Align tops. Align middles. You might say, well, where'd they all go? Well, they're on top of each other. Okay, so again, you have these all like that, and align left. See how they all align left. Lots of different options here. I really don't use these too much. Suppose if you're doing a lot of screen design, you would. Like I see one here, it says make same size. So it makes them all the same size. I assume it's based upon what the majority look like. Make same width. So if you had one that was a little bit longer like that, then make same width would be that. In case you're wondering, well, how are you doing that? I click here, don't double click. If you double click, you go to the code, and then you see these little white squares. If I put my mouse over it, becomes a different kind of arrow, and that allows me to resize. Like I say, I don't work that much with screen design, and when I do, it's never so complex I can't just manually change it. But it may come in handy in some cases. Let's see what other options there are. Align bottoms, align middles, align tops. Make vertical spacing equal. See how I selected that? Now the spacing in between these buttons are the same. That might be handy, because it may be difficult to eyeball this and see is that distance there different than this? It is. But if I start moving it, is this distance here the same as this? Not so easy to see. Well, does it matter that much? That's more the question. Okay. Now I'm double clicking the button to put it on here. Let me go to checkbox. I'm going to click with my left mouse button and drag and drop it. And when you drag and drop it, you can put them anywhere. Okay, now as I drop these different components on here, if I want to delete one, you just click it one time. If you double click it, it'll go to the code Like if I double click this, it'd take me to the code here. Remember to go back, you click your tab up here. No big deal. If you click that and then you press your delete, it'll delete it. You can also probably right click on it if I had to guess. Let me right click on this and there's a delete there. Lots of different ways to perform the same functionality within these packages. Now if I click button 1 here, over here you'll see under the properties window, you'll see all the different items that are specific to button 1. If I click button 4, it'll change it to button 4 over here. If I do the drop down, you'll see you have your list of items here and you can choose check list box. So to work with the different controls after you've dropped them on, that's the way you can do it. Or you can just click it one time. Even the form has its own properties. If I click the form itself, you see there's form 1 here. All of them have code you can put behind them. Remember the events? If I click lightning bolt, these are all the different action items I can program. These are all the different action items I can program for this button. And these are all the different action items I can program for this checklist box. Sometimes they'll be similar. You'll see that they have the same code. Like if I come over here, you see how there's a click. If I come here, probably there's a click. And if I go to a button, you see there's a click. So there's some that are universal, and then there are some that are very specific to a checklist box. Does not have the same action items as a button. There might be other ways to add on a control. Maybe you right click on it. I don't see an item there. Probably some menu up here that allows you to add on a control. Couldn't tell you which one. Easiest way is either to double click or drag and drop.